And welcome back to an episode of the Ministry of Truth. I am your only host on this show. Let me get my camera set up a little bit better. All right. Hello, Junipers. Good to see you as always. Always. So, what we're going to talk about today, obviously, I'm not done with the Epstein shit. I lied the other day. Because more and more has come out, and I feel like we should take a trip down memory lane about, what politicians and members of the government promised us and failed to deliver. And then we're going to talk about some other shit. But before we get started, got to start off with an old song. And by old, I mean like late 90s, early 2000s ish. Thinking more the 2000s. But without further ado, let's get into the only the only song of the next 15 minutes. So without further ado, go get your coffee, go get your bagel if you're a Jew, or if you're not a Jew, just get a bagel. Everything with salmon. And I'll be back. See you in a minute.
Scalpel.
Here.
Sponge.
Here.
Wait. He's convulsing. We're gonna have to shock him.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to shock him.
These are the results of 1,000 electric volts. A neck with bolts.
Nurse, we're losing him. Check the pulse.
A kid who refused to respect adults. Wore spectacles with tape frames and a freckled nose. A corny looking white boy, scrawny and always ornery. Cause I was always sick of brawny bullies picking on me. And I might snatch. One day just like that, I decided to strike back and flattened every tire on the bike rack. My first day in junior high, this kid said,
It's you and I. 3 o'clock sharp this afternoon you die.
I looked at my watch, it was 1:20.
I already gave you my lunch money. What more do you want from me?
He said, don't try to run from me, you just make it worse. My palms were sweaty and I started to shake at first. Something told me,
Try to fake a stomach ache, it works.
I screamed,
Ow, my appendix feel like naked purse. Teacher, quick, I need a naked nurse. What's the matter? I don't know, my leg, it hurts.
hey, I thought you said it was just tummy.
Oh, I mean it is, but I also got a bum knee. Mr. Mathers, the fun and games are over. And just for that stunt, you're gonna get some extra homework. But don't you wanna give me after school detention?
Nah, that bully wants to beat your ass and I'ma let him.
Damage.
Ever since the day I was born, drugs what they used to say I was on. They say I never knew which way I was going, but everywhere I go they keep playing my song.
Brain damage.
Ever since the day I was born, drugs what they used to say I was on. They say I never knew which way I was going, but everywhere I go they keep playing my song.
Brain
Way
damage.
before my baby daughter Haley, I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey, an 8th grader who acted obnoxious, cause his father boxed us, so every day he'd shove me in the lockers. One day he came in the bathroom while I was pissing, and had me in the position to beat me into submission. He banged my head against the urinal till he broke my nose, soaked my clothes in blood, grabbed me and choked my throat. I tried to plead and tell him we shouldn't be, but he just wouldn't leave. He kept choking me and I couldn't breathe. He looked at me and said,
You gonna die, honky.
the principal walked in and started helping him stomp me. I made him think they beat me to death, holding my breath for like 5 minutes before they finally left. Then I got up and ran to the janitor's storage booth, kicked the doors loose and ripped out the foreign screws, grabbed some sharp objects, brooms and foreign tools. This is for every time you took my orange juice. I stole my
All
in the lunchroom.
About enough of that. So let's get into our first story of the day. This is off of Jesse Waters. If you're walking in the street, just happen to walk by a kid getting abducted, what would you do? What would you do? Well, let's find out what some person did. In the state of Pennsylvania, mainly the city of brotherly love. So let's get into this first story.
Happy Tuesdays with Julie. Let's bring her in. Hey, Julie.
It is a happy Tuesday with
Hello,
Julie.
Julie.
Always a happy Tuesdays with you. First up, Coney Island, Brooklyn. A little boy got snatched right off the sidewalk. Watch.
What the fuck?
Whoa, and then he threw him.
Nah, he's wildin'.
Luckily, the parents didn't freeze. That man dropped the boy, got chased into an intersection, and now he's in
I'd have
custody.
caught that nigger.
And the kid's safe at home. You hear about kidnapping all the time. You
Yeah.
never see it happen
No.
in real time.
No, and in front of the parents. The mother and
Yes.
father both actually ran down the guy, and then within 4 minutes, the cops were there. But they actually had to tackle this guy and hold him down until the cops showed up.
What's up,
Fortunately,
Zero
the cops
Infinity?
were there within 4 minutes. But here's the example of why New York City is so screwed up, because there are criminals that are brazen enough to actually attempt to kidnap a child in front of clearly a very busy street with spectators and witnesses in front of the parents.
What was he
Because
wearing? A
it's a
fez? Is
lawless
that what you
area.
call that hat?
I don't know. I
I
would
don't know
call
what
it
the fuck it
dreads.
is.
I think those were dreads.
I think that was a fez.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That was not dreads.
I didn't know you were so hip.
Well, I'm just cultured.
Yeah.
Next up,
Man
Philly.
on the streets.
A cookout turns into a shootout. Warning, this video is a little graphic.
Isn't that wild? Dude just straight up snatched a kid and thought, I don't know, I'm just gonna grab him and run away. You fucking kidding me, dude? By the way, what was that dude's name? I don't know if he was legal. Kind of thought it was one of those, hibachi chefs, because they have those big ass hats, but I don't know. I'd have chased him down. I'd have beat the fuck out of him, and then I would have called the cops. I'd be like, I thought he had pepper spray, so I had to break his arm. It's a big deal. I also have a get out of jail free card. It's called PTSD. CPTSD. I think it's CPTSD. Whatever. Anyway, let's get into the next story. This is from Baltimore, where they had a mass casualty incident. But this mass casualty isn't what you think. It wasn't somebody getting super stabbed. It wasn't somebody going around shooting. It was drug overdose?
I want to bring you some breaking news right now out of Baltimore, Maryland. I want to show you this live shot that we have there of the city. But what we do know is that at least 15 people have been hospitalized at this hour in relation to an apparent overdose incident. Again, as we are continuing to track the very latest, when I put up the stories that we have from the Fox station there in Baltimore, saying that at least 15 people have been taken to the hospital after officials found multiple overdose victims in West Baltimore. And as of 12:50 p.m. local time, those 15 people have been taken to the hospital, with 5 being listed in critical condition. And they did say that the other 10 patients were in serious condition as well. I want to continue on here with some of the updates we have from other officials in the city, with the Baltimore police remarking that they have been on site there along with Baltimore Fire at the scene of Pennsylvania and North Avenues in reference to these multiple individuals who were experiencing overdose symptoms. They say that they will continue to release more information as it comes to them. And lastly, we even heard from those high-ranking officials there in the city and in the state, including Governor Wes Moore, saying that our team is coordinating with state agencies, city officials, and first responders on the ground in West Baltimore today, saying, I am grateful to those who quickly alerted us about this situation and those who are providing support to the community. And once again, taking you out to live look there in Baltimore. This happened around 9:25 a.m. today. This is when fire department, police, and medics all responded to the intersection of Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue for the reports of those overdoses. Again, at least 15 people have been taken to the hospital, with 5 being listed in critical condition. Police say that they are still finding additional victims at this time and still expect this number of those treated to increase. Of course, we also saw, according to the Fox station there in Baltimore, that officials could be seen handing saw, according to the Fox station there, of those treated to increase. Of course, we also still expect this number of those treated to increase.
God damn it. Oh, man. Thanks, Carmen. What was the drug? I feel like we should know. And the lady said there's currently 15 being hospitalized, but they expect more. From where? I mean, did they all buy from the same dealer? Can we find that guy? But there's more to come, guys. More to come. Thank you, Carmen. Good thing I remembered what I said. Now we're going to get into Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's going to make a couple comments. One about Russia, who apparently bombed a maternity clinic in Ukraine. Haven't checked on that, but, I don't trust anything that comes out of this administration anymore.
Watching drones hit a maternity hospital in Ukraine overnight. I know. You'll be seeing things happen. Now that you were gonna say something, are you planning on delivering any type of help for undocumented families that lost everything in duty to school? I think we've done very well on immigration. We were given a very bad hand by Biden. He allowed 25 million people to come in totally unchecked, unvetted. We're getting the criminals out, and we're getting them out fast. The courts have ultimately done the right thing. Amazingly, they've really done the right thing. And they understand it's really the survival of our country. It's a very important thing. We can't have like 11,888 murderers. And, something that you should have that you haven't reported. As you know, 300,000 children are missing.
The first time I hear it coming out of the president's mouth.
300,000 under Biden. We've already gotten back 10,000 of those children, and we have a lot more planned to come back. We're getting them back by the
We're going to go over 8.
300,000, and we've, as of this morning, over 10,000 we've gotten back. What is your advice to countries worldwide ahead of the upcoming tariff deadlines? Oh, I think just keep working hard. We've been taken advantage of for many, many years by countries, both friend and foe. And frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases. So I would say just keep working. It's all going to work out. And families who have loved ones.
Jerome Powell.
No. I think he's doing a terrible job. I think we should be, I think we should be 3 points lower interest rate. He's costing our country a lot of money. We should be number one, and we're not. And that's because of Jerome Powell. In terms of interest, we are number one in the world. Look, I'll tell you a little simple language. 1 year ago, our country was a dead country. We were going nowhere except down. We were the laughing stock all over the world. And now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're number one everywhere, anywhere in the world. And that's all they're talking about is our country. 1 year ago, it was a dead country. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Thank you.
I think it all started with LA and those forest fires. That's why we're pretty hot. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know if we're the hottest country in the world, but we're back up there. We're back up there. And I'm not on mute, thank God. So for the next... We're going to talk about Epstein. And the lies that we were told over the past couple years by politicians, government officials, and, well, everybody. 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 But before we do that, I know I said there's going to be one song, but I did say next 15 minutes. And it's been 15 minutes, 25 seconds, so...
Hey, the ops try and make me hang it up like I'm Epstein. They was sleeping on me, now they fuck. It's a wet dream. Pull up to your school, nigga look cool, do not test me. Try to rub a jet, please. Take me to the island. Have massages and menages for an island. Feel like Aaron touchdown with a slight tan. Pack bass like I rock a pair of white vans. White man pulling on your block in a white van. Like Jeffrey, the bills like Jeffrey. Tripping out with flipping off a pill like Jeffrey. For really beat the case, let's make a deal like Jeffrey. I might eat his face and make a meal like Jeffrey. I just tryna make a band, but I'm not Diddy. I just tryna shoot my shot like I'm Josh Giddey. I'm a white boy, bitch, I bring the cops with me. Pull up on the ops with a mop, we gon' drop 50, smoke 'em dead. When I wake up early in the morning, it's on my head. Had to get this shit up out the mud, it was jail or dead. But somehow I'm the man, I guess God had a plan. I'll be damned if I'm broke, and that poverty is crippling. I'm married to the game.
Alright, enough of that. Now we're going to head on to the first thing I want to talk about. So this part I did not know. So, this is Kash Patel. Kash Patel has a very beautiful, is this his wife? Girlfriend. Oh, by the way, she's Jewish, so that sucks. That sucks. But, she's a Jewish country singer, and she works for PragerU. PragerU. Mossad. I wonder. Kash Patel, are you compromised?
Of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, as part of our investigation, we spoke to Ari Ben Mashani, who is a former Israeli spy. He said on the record unequivocally that Jeffrey Epstein was working for Israeli intelligence operations, the Mossad, and running a classic honey trap operation. That is, lure people inside, record their activities and learn about their peccadillos and use it to blackmail them. This is a former spy on the record in the new book, Epstein Dead Men Tell No Tales. Interestingly, this person was also the handler of Jeffrey Epstein's best friend and ex-girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. She was said to have been one of the women who helped procure the underage girls for Epstein. She has denied that. But her father was Robert Maxwell, a media and press baron who owned the Mirror News Group in England and also the New York Daily News. He was a former Mossad agent. And according to my source, Ari Ben Mashari, the business that Robert Maxwell had was turned over to Jeffrey Epstein almost in a switch before Robert Maxwell died in mysterious circumstances off the back of a boat in 1991.
Well, this is some mind-boggling stuff.
That Maxwell guy helped Israel become Israel. So were there secret agents? Was he an agent? Obviously. That's why everything's being covered up. Uh-oh.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
I'm glad it was on her desk, guys. It was on her desk. Has anybody seen it? I haven't seen it. Ugh. Sorry, this is loading from yesterday. Again, this is the comment that really made me think, why the fuck did he just say this? And Pam Bondi is trying to deflect left and right. Has anybody debunked that prison thing? The camera for 1 minute? And the cell wasn't even visible in the video. The cell was downstairs, not door 46 like a lot of people think.
During mysteries, one of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor
Holy
Secretary,
crap,
who was
no one's watching that?
Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the staff?
Yeah, sure. If I
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the
Look at
things.
Marco's face like, are you fucking serious?
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of videos.
Wait, but JFK was killed by Israel. This guy had ties to Israel. What? Oh, do we have to wait another 40 years? Yeah, well, 50 years.
They turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him,
No
being
one
an
wants the
agent,
child porn to be released. We want the fucking people responsible to be held accountable. I bet you those victims, they want these motherfuckers held accountable.
I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
Although if you remember, there was no video. It was distorted. It was barely visible. The camera wasn't working. But all of a sudden, boom, we have 11 hours of footage from that cell, that pod, which doesn't show anything. So that's like a, hey, look at me, but I'm really nothing.
Suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing.
But if the minute's missing, hear me out. If there's a minute missing from the video, where the fuck is she gonna get that missing minute that she just said? Pam, we're not stupid. We're not. But what I found interesting is, you know who really hasn't come out and said anything? Democrats. Why haven't Democrats said anything about this? Interesting. You'd think they'd go anything negative about Trump. However, they haven't really brought this up. I wonder why. They want it to all disappear. Like the client list. Which, by the way, apparently didn't disappear. It's in U.S. Southern District of New York. Because it's being used for Maxwell as well. To try to get her off. Not in the sense that, you know what? Which one's this?
FBI.
Oh, here we go. Here's more Pam Bondi. giving us the great information that we want to hear about the Epstein stuff. An update.
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m. Thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course. And Cash is going to, Director Patel is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay.
So detailed, it fit on 2 pages.
I want to be clear because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
Well,
wait. Even back then, whistleblowers are coming out like, yeah, that's not everything. That's not everything.
Sure, and you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so...
so you didn't have it, but now the FBI has it, and they turned it over to... Wait. But there's nothing. What were you handing over? A blank piece of paper saying we got them.
Source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yep.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Cash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these
very detailed
documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can. But go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein, because there are a lot of victims.
Well, you had identified it.
Oh. But you said they were all downloaded. Remember? You just came out and said they were all downloaded child porn. They didn't make any, but Pam, how many victims was there again?
In phase 1, over 254. Okay. Now, is that the only thing that would be redacted? Will everything else be made public that you get in your possession?
Yeah, the FBI hasn't had, obviously, they haven't looked at the thousands of pages of documents that they've just received Friday. But Cash has a team going through them, and it's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration...
I misheard her.
We believe in through them, and it's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency.
We believe in transparency. Who's this we she's talking about?
And America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency. But I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day. It's a new administration. And everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
And that goes the same with the JFK files,
JFK,
RFK files,
Martin
MLK.
Luther King. Yep, absolutely.
What are the things that, and maybe some people don't understand the need to redact. In the case of a victim, that should be pretty obvious to people.
Right.
What are the other things that maybe you would have to redact?
Well,
national security?
No, of course, national security, some grand jury information, which is always going to be confidential. But we'll see. Let's look through them as fast as we can, get it out to the American people, because the American people have a right to know, not only on that, but on Kennedy, on Martin Luther King, on all of these cases that the Biden administration has just sat on for all these years. So yeah, it's really, it's not sad. It's infuriating that these people thought that they could sit on this information.
Fucking bitch is a joke. Joke. Transparency, guys. Everything we have a right to know. They're just going to redact the names of the victims, which is 100%. I agree with that. But we're going to release everything else. Can we see what you did have? You can redact victims' names. What did you have? Thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. What was on those pages? I'm glad Judicial Watch is FOIAing these pages. Judicial Watch. Fucking Pam Bondi. You know, I was thinking, like, and I totally forgot to look it up.
People are wondering.
Matt Gaetz, when he was supposed to get the Attorney General job, maybe there's a reason that, well, the fact that 17-year-old, I don't know about that. He wants that list to be released. Epstein. I totally meant to pull it up. Oh, never mind. Okay, maybe I was wrong. But I know I saw a video. I have to go find it. Tired of looking for it. Oh, this is Pam Bondi again from February 26th. Dude, we're getting so much transparency. She's telling us exactly what they have. She's letting you know there's a lot of bad shit in those. There's a lot of bad people. Terrible stuff.
Because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims.
Oh.
200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
What was that breaking stuff? A fucking binder full of blank pages. That's what the good shit she was going to release. That was the good shit she was going to release.
By my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look for
with his
that.
co-defendant.
Okay, so he did the stuff. But from what you said, there's really no evidence to support anything like what's been going on. Okay. So glad she's being transparent, guys. This is exactly what we need from this administration. Because, they only tell you what you need to know, and you need to know what you don't need to know.
For years, trying to get those records of who.
Hey, some people think Marsha Blackburn is crazy. Sometimes I do too, because I'm pretty sure she's from my state. However, she really wants this shit to be solved too.
To you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this. And I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight.
I want to talk to you about the Epstein case.
Really, Cash? For real? Really? You're a liar. You're a liar. Fucking clown.
It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Oh, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right?
Well, how can you release the names if you're not releasing the list? But they don't exist.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
What an odd interview. Kash Patel from 2024. What an odd interview. We want to get these pedophiles, but there are none, apparently. FBI's been sitting on it. That means you had it already. And then you come out with your bullshit. Sorry, I keep the mean looking at. Just gets weird, doesn't it? Everything these guys talked about, turns out they're all fucking lying pieces of shit.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
Yeah. Oh.
But who? That is I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting at the Catholic school. We still haven't seen that, right?
Right.
It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation.
Uh-oh.
All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts.
who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black?
That didn't age well. That didn't age well, Cash. All this shit, we got to get this out. We know there's people on it. We need to get them. And then, be like, I've seen it. There's nothing. Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself. There is no client list. Those tens of thousands of videos, he just downloaded them. He didn't make any of them. The thousands and thousands of pages we had to go through, they were all blank. So when you got those binders back in the February, those really were what we have, blank pages.
Fine. I mean, what's next? I mean, we did a little bit of a preview on the Epstein files. Obviously, that's like finding a unicorn in Washington, D.C. You have come on and talked about that on this program. just for the sake of transparency, which is very big for you. And so in closing, any motion on that, any movement on that? We hear that there's no timeline now.
I hope James has the Epstein files, because I don't think the Department of Justice has them, or at least the Attorney General does not have them, or she would have turned them over. The President ordered them released. The Attorney General ordered them released. We all know they have not been released. And one of my biggest fears that I had, and I expressed this with Kash Patel and a lot of people, Stephen Miller, and a lot of people going into the new administration. I'm like, I hope they're not shredding documents right now. This was a few weeks before the transition. I said, I hope they're not shredding documents, but you all need to go on that first day and try to get all this stuff released, because my fear is from what I've dealt with in investigations and in communication with this deep state apparatus, is they're probably in there shredding documents as we speak. So hopefully someone has a copy of that, and I hope we find out, because our task force has done everything, led by Anna Paulina Luna. You had her on your show many times. I mean, she's relentless. She's persistent. She's pretty frustrated right now that these files haven't been released, even though the President and the Attorney General have ordered them released. But it's like I told Anna the same thing I told Patel and everybody else. I'm like, you assume that somebody in the deep state said, okay, we'll just put these in a file back here, this incriminating evidence on everybody, and maybe the next administration can do whatever they want to do with it. That's unfortunately the way it's supposed to work, but it hasn't worked with this deep state.
So they're just going to let the incriminating evidence sit there smoldering. That could put them all in prison.
I wish they should. That's what they're supposed to do. But you and I have dealt with them, Benny. You've covered the deep state as well as anyone. I mean, they cover their tracks, and it's just hard for me to believe they're going to leave incriminating evidence if the government was involved. If the government wasn't involved, I don't think they would have any reason to protect Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton. They're never going to be elected anything again. I don't think they would have any reason to protect Bill Gates or anybody else. The concern I've always had about the Epstein file was the government involved. Did the government know? Was the government using Epstein and the videos to blackmail the most influential people around the world? If that's the case, then they knew there were victims of sex crimes there, and they did nothing. Right. So that's the concern I have. If the government covers this up, I don't believe it's because of any love affair or affection for the Clinton family. Just like I never believed they were hiding and covering for the Bidens because they loved Joe Biden. It was because they hated Donald Trump, and they didn't want their agencies to be disrupted. The same thing with the Epstein files. I don't know this, but my concern is that that the government may have known a lot more and may have been an active participant, maybe with the intentions of intelligence gathering. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I don't think the American people would be okay if the government knew that crimes against young women were occurring, and yet they did nothing to intervene.
Are you advocating for the release of what info they have right now? Are you? James, I think. Can't remember his name right now. It's not that important. Yeah, it's James Comer. I was right. So, another politician saying we should release it. The people have the right to know. Again, he is correct. We don't need to know the names of the victims. We don't need to know their real crimes, because we already know. We want accountability. Don't care what administration you are. There's no accountability, then you're kind of pointless. Are you oh shit, Yeti, I hope that's true. I hope that's true. What's up, Angela?
Always been that there's video. But what about the video from the island?
Again, we're going to give you everything we can. And people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
And is there video from the island?
Not of what you want.
So this narrative might not be accurate, that there's video of these guys doing this.
Exactly.
Have you guys reviewed everything that you have?
Almost. Yes, we have, and now we're figuring out how to put it out.
But is there footage?
If there was footage of anyone doing anything else, we would have opened a case.
There are tons of videos. Yeah, and it's all with little kids.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Interesting, Cash. So was he saying there was no videos? Or is he just blatantly lying? Like, yep, saw them, can't touch them, just gonna lie to the American people. And I hope Dan Bongino retires because of that bullshit. And I want him, I wonder if he has to be sworn to secrecy. Probably not. But he knows something. And they're scared. Cash is a piece of shit. Get down, dude.
Jeffrey Epstein story.
It's funny that you did mention Dan Bongino. Okay. Oscar, say hi. Okay. So we're going to watch a video, Dan Bongino in 2023, and then when Dan Bongino looked like, I don't know, he just wanted to bite people's faces off, and that he had so much more he wanted to say, but he couldn't.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not.
Yeah. Like, he looked like he was held hostage. Now they go back and see. Even back then, I was like, he doesn't even look like he believes what he's saying. And now we know why. I want to know what he knows. I want to know if they kept him in the loop. That would be interesting to know. Was he blindsided by this? If so, I would have retired that day. And that would have made the administration like, oh, fuck.
Case we have an update on that from the Telegraph. Turns out, headline, evidence from Jeffrey Epstein's safe went missing after an FBI raid. Court hears in Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Folks, listen, I have over a decade of experience as a federal agent myself. Who cares? Hey, look at me, experience. I'm just telling you to prove bona fides here. I have processed hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of evidence throughout my law enforcement career. I don't know how you would lose evidence. Let me explain to you how evidence works.
Okay.
You serve a search warrant in Jeffrey Epstein's house, and let's say, for example, you find videotapes or DVDs or whatever it may be. You then take them. You tag them. You note where you found them. In many cases, you take pictures. In most cases now, you take pictures of where you found them.
What's up, Fin Fam?
You catalog them in evidence envelopes so you can't tamper with them, right? You seal the envelope. You sign the envelope. It then comes back with you in custody, and it goes back typically, in the Secret Service, to an evidence vault, which is a big, like, bank safe in the office. To go in the evidence vault, you have to sign in. To sign out the evidence, you have to sign out the specific piece of evidence. How the hell do you lose evidence in a case this big?
Is
it law?
Hold on a second. When was he saying this? There's no way. Okay, somebody had to find this. There's no date on it because it's definitely not from February 2025. Look at what he's saying.
Lost? Was it lost? If you get what I mean? I don't know. I'm just telling you, I've never seen evidence. You know what I did see evidence lost? Seriously, sadly, during 9/11, our office was in 7 World Trade Center, the Secret Service office. 7 World Trade came down. I promise we lost a lot of evidence. That's the only time I've ever seen evidence lost.
Was that Building 7?
Here's another thing I want to address. Someone sent me an email this week. Hey, Dan, remember that thing you'd mentioned a while ago about Epstein and the plane and Clinton? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when are you going to break that? I said, break what? I told you it's not my story. I can't say this enough. This is why sometimes I regret saying things on my show. It's not because I regret saying it. It's because people don't understand it. And I answer emails for a year when I'm clear as day about what happened. It's not you. It's just a limited number of people. But the audience free, if even one person's upset, it bothers me. I'll say this clearly. I have a friend of mine who called me a long time ago, who was on a plane with Epstein and Clinton, was there, and saw some very suspicious, shady stuff.
This nigga say he had a friend that was on the plane? That's weird.
It's his. I don't have any more detail. Said one day, get back to me and tell me the full story, or give me permission to run with at least the minimal details I have.
Where's that friend?
He hasn't since. So it's not there's nothing I can do. I can't force him into it. It's not my information to give up. I'm not going to talk to you about details I don't have. But he did give me permission to tell you that it was odd, very odd what happened. And it bothered him forever. I'm not trying to be cryptic, or the story, the guy's credibility is unimpeachable. Believe me. But the exact details I can't give you because I don't have them. He does. One of these days, I'm sure he'll put them out. When he does, we'll be here to give it to you. But I assure you, that conversation happened.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.
This guy was... You can tell he's taking that case seriously. And I don't know if they are telling him, hey, shut your fucking mouth. I'd definitely say some shit. You can fire me. What are you going to do? Fire me? I'll go back to Rumble and make millions. Which he will. But, yeah, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure Dan has cancer. Because he talked about it maybe a year ago.
happened.
Caroline. Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration.
Answer the question.
And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it happened.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters?
Yeah, Yeti. If Dan did that, bro, mad respect for him. Because right now, the more he keeps quiet, the less respect I have. Especially when it comes to that. I don't care how he died now. Because it doesn't really matter at this point. What I do care about is people need to be held accountable. I don't give a fuck who they are. If it's Donald Trump or the Pope, gives two fucks. I bet you Pope Benedict's in the client list. Pope Benedict is the only pope that I know that stepped down during my entire lifetime without dying.
Well, I woke up this morning and turned my phone on, and there were hundreds of text messages saying, oh my God, the DOJ just put out a letter that I know you've all seen now, saying there is no Epstein client list, there never was any blackmail operation, Epstein killed himself, and the investigation's closed. So everybody wants to know what I think. Well, I know what's going on.
Is that true, Yeti? I'm definitely going to go have to check that out. Because maybe it's a clone. Or AI.
And so I'll tell you, Trump had two ways to go with all of this. He could prosecute all of these incredibly prominent people, household names, or they could use the information to blackmail the deep state. I've done deep research, have a lot of contacts.
Yes.
And
Yes, he did. And what was it for? Covering up sexual abuses within the Catholic Church. That's interesting.
Trump's MO. And he's not into kids, he's not into being peed on.
Oh. With me saying he's on the list. Makes sense now, right?
You know, Russian hotels, all that was lies. We now know from the CIA and Brennan and the very crew running the Epstein operation. But the reason that you are seeing this deep sixth is because the CIA with the Mossad and MI6 was running Epstein, and it was an official U.S. government operation, multinational. And it was the family business going back to Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, and that's all on record. So if Trump was to actually prosecute this, it would bring down the CIA. And so that's why you've had Comey, who controlled the files over at the FBI with the CIA, but on that end of the DOJ, having his daughter do all the main cover-ups.
Yep.
Not just with the Epstein and Maxwell case, but obviously P. Diddy and the rest of it. Yep. So this is the swamp winning. The question is Trump's DOJ actually using this to control the deep state? Or are they just so overwhelmed by it, they are tapping out? Because, let me explain logic here. And from all obvious inside sources, you know, we're the ones that broke with the FBI whistleblowers, O'Boyle and others, Seraphin, all of this that was first unfolding, 5 months ago, when they were supposed to, have this 14 terabytes. They'd send it out to the FBI field offices.
I feel the same way, Yeti, 100%. Because I was thinking about this. They've had forever to release this. They didn't. Why? Which is funny because, like I said before, with this list saying that there was this client list saying it doesn't really show anything, how come Democrats aren't rubbing it in the face? How come they're not rubbing it in the face? Is it because there's a lot more of them? Now I kind of want to know if Trump was in. You know what? It's just weird because you think about that shadow government. What did Trump know? What does Trump know? What is Pam Bondi keeping from him as well?
Investigation, and Pam Bondi went on Fox a bunch of times. So did some U.S. attorneys from New Jersey, and said, "Oh yeah, we've seen it, hundreds of new victims and videos and all this horrible stuff, kids being raped. Hundreds of new victims. We're going to be releasing it." So you wouldn't say all that if you were planning to cover it up from the beginning. So something has changed along the way, and it all points towards this being used to blackmail the deep state. I'm not endorsing it. I think clearly this is what Musk learned about a few months ago and looked like he aged 10 years overnight, looked completely freaked out. And then I think the conscience had to come out and say what he said. I mean, even people like Cat Turd, who is just the quintessential will not question anything in the Trump administration, is completely freaked out now. I mean, no one is buying this. Patrick McDavid's had really good breakdowns of it all. Jack Posobiec said, okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent because she was found guilty of sex trafficking. So how do you say there's no trafficking or blackmail or any of this? It's just absolute horseshit on its face, and it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Trump is doing a lot of good, and obviously the deep state's trying to destroy me for supporting him. It's been hell, and a lot of good's happening. I'll say this. This is very, very painful and nauseating. I'm actually physically nauseated in the last 3 hours since I got up and just trying to collate this. And of course, I instantly knew what was happening when I saw the information. I've talked about the different scenarios here. Obviously, there's nothing the globalists wouldn't do to keep this from coming out. They've already tried to kill Trump repeatedly. Had they rolled over, I see a lot of signs that, Trump's pretty much in charge now. And so all evidence points towards them using the information to control the deep state. So meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The Who song won't get fooled again. But I'm going to say this in closing. I'll be covering it all today at 11 a.m. Central when my show kicks off at Infowars.com/show and right here on X.
I'm going to tell you what. Who do I think is really keeping this list from coming out? Think y'all know. Think y'all know. And if you don't know, it's Israel. Israel.
Maintained that it was your employer, Robert Maxwell, owner of the Daily Mirror. You say that he was an Israeli agent, and as was his daughter.
He was not my employer. I would like to correct that.
Okay.
We worked together with him.
And you say that his daughter Ghislaine also, though, worked for Israel, and it was Robert Maxwell who introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell way before the 1990s, as mainstream media is reporting.
Correct.
I suppose what the most alarming allegations that you've been making are that the entire Epstein operation was a honey trap operation to entrap politicians, policymakers, celebrities, people in the media eye, basically to become Israel's assets.
Correct. that it became basically an intelligence operation to entrap different politicians.
What? Not, I'm not saying that, it's the Jews, but it might be the Jews. Who's that?
Dozen women who say Jeffrey Epstein abused them have told their stories to a judge.
Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found
Now,
dead.
Maxwell was convicted of 5 charges, including child sex trafficking.
I was 10 years old. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. To force someone into a room to be raped, there's not enough sorries in the world.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
Yeah, this whole video, this Epstein explainer, it's like 2-3 hours long. I might play it on a different time, but I gotta make sure it doesn't get censored. Yes, Epstein and what's her face? Maxwell will definitely Mossad, especially the dad. Check out when the dad had to do with Israel becoming a state. Okay, those of you who don't know, a California farm was raided yesterday, and a bunch of illegals got arrested. What you don't know is, out of those people that got arrested, 8 of them were children.
It strikes me unbelievable that the Democrats are not on board. When you look at this raid, there were 10 juveniles that were legally brought across the border. You and I covered this under the Biden administration. I was down in Texas. We encountered 8, 10-year-old, 12-year-olds coming across with just a name and an address and a phone number on their necks, the cartel ruthlessly sending them across. And yet now we know that 10 of them, 8 of which were unaccompanied minors working illegally in a marijuana farm, and your agents go in and rescue them essentially, and yet there is violent resistance to that. Does that upset you?
It certainly upsets me, and like I said, the work men and women of ICE are doing is incredible. Look, we're looking for over 300,000 missing children. We've already found 10,000. Have you heard that anywhere? No, the media is simply not covering it. And look, this should be a nonpartisan issue. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats, everybody be all the same page on that. Rescuing children, I mean, it should be a nonpartisan issue. Everybody should be in lockstep on that, but they're not. The media's lying. The Democrats they don't want President Trump to be successful. I got news for them. We are being successful. Every illegal alien public safety threat we arrest makes this country safer. Every national security threat we take off the street and deport makes us safer. And we're rescuing thousands of children. The lives saved every day by ICE, the lives saved every day by Border Patrol, are in the hundreds.
Dude,
so
that's how it would look in Iraq when we
the only thing I think of, Griff, if they hate President Trump more than they love their community, they hate President Trump more than they want, safe communities. And there's just no other excuse why this is not, why this has become a partisan issue to take public safety threats off the street.
And
So 10 unaccompanied minors. Are these 10 the one that were missing? Any of those 10 one that were missing? So now we know some of them being used to work.
Quote,
farms.
How can people be expected?
So, wait. So they're taking our jobs. Does that mean, no. I wouldn't want a kid working in a marijuana field like that. However, where's the media outrage over those children? Nothing. They just care because Donald Trump and his administration are trying to do what a good majority of his voters wanted him to do. I mean, he's not going to release the Epstein shit, so he might as well continue deporting illegals, right? Am I right?
To have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files. That post by Elon Musk this afternoon gets at a serious question, prompted by MAGA fans, among others, after the Justice Department asserted in a memo that convicted sex offender and multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein did not blackmail high-profile clients, was not murdered before he was found dead in his jail cell in 2019, and in fact had no client list. Despite the fact that the very same administration officials are now asserting there is no there, many of them were the ones ginning up the controversy before President Trump was reelected and while they were in office. The Justice Department memo, first obtained by Axios, also comes 1 month after the billionaire Tesla founder took to his platform X as his alliance with President Trump dissolved. Quote, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason why they have not been made public," unquote. Musk deleted that post 2 days later, but the new memo has Musk posting this meme, among others. It's a guy putting on progressively more clown makeup with the text, "We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk." There is no Epstein list with full clown
Wait, I like the
regalia.
meme.
The desk part refers to a February clip. The list is on my desk. A February
yes,
clip
we know.
from Fox that was played of Pam Bondi. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But here was Attorney General Bondi earlier today.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's
Glad
what
you
I meant
clarified
by
that.
Trump was asked about the memo today by a New York Post reporter, and he expressed indignation.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
We are.
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Mr. President, the reason people are talking about this guy is because people serving in the highest levels of your administration have been talking about this guy for years and talking about how the Epstein list needs to be released. Here's then Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance in October 2024.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
There you go.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Here's Kash Patel on a podcast just over a year before he became FBI director.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's
You know,
on
if you
that
think
list.
about it, these people that are hiring the illegals, wouldn't that be considered aiding and abetting?
Dan Bongino, a former Secret Service agent turned right-wing podcaster, is now the FBI deputy director. Here he is on his show in February. He was named deputy director just a few weeks later.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Bill Clinton's spokesperson released a statement in 2019 saying that the former president, quote, knows nothing about the terrible crimes. We should note the presence of one's name in the files does not mean they were involved in any way in sex trafficking or having sex with any of Epstein's
Then
victims.
release it.
Here's Alina Habba, now interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey. This is her in February.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking.
Oh, it was shocking.
I'm shocked that none of that's been released. In February this year, Attorney General Bondi teased the imminent arrival of the Epstein files, and President Trump's eldest son, Don Jr., posted about the news, quote, LFG, an acronym for Let's Effing Go.
Fucking go.
A week later, the Trump administration invited a slew of conservative MAGA influencers to the White House, purporting to give them a first look at a batch of documents labeled the Epstein Files Phase 1, but none of it was a smoking gun. The vast majority of
What phase are
information
we
had
on
already
right
been
now?
made publicly available. CNN's Evan Perez reported in March that Attorney General Bondi directed FBI agents, in some cases, to drop their work on China and Iran and focus on redacting the files before their release. Remember, Trump made part of this his platform. Here he is during the 2024 campaign.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering
stuff with that whole world. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole.
Wait a minute. So, has he seen it? He just said there's a lot of phony stuff in there. I'm confused.
Whole world.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering Epstein for years, say that the notion of Epstein having an easy-to-access client list is likely a red herring. And that's what the Trump administration is relying on, that there likely isn't a list per se. But they are also now relying on the fact that because it's MAGA influencers who often put forward so many falsehoods, legacy news media won't push the point, that while there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released. There's a trove of information that the Trump administration is right now refusing to share. Information that could well point to the powerful folks who availed themselves of the sex trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein. If you go, for example, to the FBI vault online, you can see that there are 22 files containing thousands of pages. Most of them are heavily redacted. Now, sure, of course, redact the names and identifying characteristics of the victims. But why not make the victim and testimonies public? As Julie Brown points out, there's still so much we don't know from the investigations by U.S. attorneys in Miami and in New York, witness interviews in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New Mexico. Brown writes that there's still more evidence that hasn't been published, including, quote, Epstein kept video cameras in most of his residences, and Epstein's autopsy, nor the report of the investigation into his death, has been made public. So while there may not be an official client list to be released, as the administration is now saying, there's a lot of extra information that is not being made public, despite Trump's Justice Department basically now saying case closed. This isn't going to go away.
When Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I've told you. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped? Yeah. Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
All right, Jamal, what do you think hearing that from Tucker?
Well, first of all, Tucker is being dangerous by alluding to something like a revolution when we're talking about the MAGA people, because we know
not what he
that
meant,
MAGA forces have been willing to use violence.
Revolution doesn't necessarily mean a fight between people. Right? All right.
Violence in pursuit of their political aims. We saw it on January 6th. You know, Gretchen said something a second ago about his Trump covering for Pam Bondi. But the question...
Wait, how did Epstein have anything to do with January 6th? All right. Not listening to that dude anymore.
Also maybe is Pam Bondi covering for Trump? We just really don't know. Donald Trump has been very forceful. He's a great television performer. When the question of Epstein comes up, every time he dissembles, he attacks the reporter. Remember before, he'll release the UFO files. He'll release the JFK
Pretty sure I just saw a report that he didn't attack the reporter.
Files. Will you release the Epstein files? Well, I don't know if we should do that, innocent people may get wrapped up in that. I just think something's going on here. We
But
got to keep
remember,
asking the
it's phony.
questions until we find out what's really happening, and they should just release the files.
I mean, right. I mean, that seems to be the point, Gretchen. At this point, and this is something that has been spun up, right, by some of the very people who are now saying, I mean, when Kash Patel and Dan Bongino came out recently and tried to downplay the Epstein files, they were eviscerated by the MAGA base, right? And now this is putting the whole thing on steroids. Far-right activist Laura Luma, Gretchen, we know Trump listens to her. She...
You know what's funny when you think about Joe Biden and his supporters? They knew everything was fucked up. They just didn't say anything. On the other side, we see something that's fucked up, and we're going to keep calling it out. A bunch of Republicans are definitely coming out and talking against this kind of bullshit, to include senators. It's weird. They don't run cover.
What? Up. I'm sitting up. Who's this guy? As soon as he comes into the live, he says Jews.
That wasn't me.
As soon as he comes in the comments, he's got Jews. Yeah. Well, it's probably really religious. He's probably Christian. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, everybody.
Hey, before we start the live, just a reminder, today's the last day of our giveaway.
And you get 20 times interest when you enter right now.
Yeah.
And not only are you in, but automatically in it in white privilege coming from 2
for free as well.
Who is Cherry LeBrun? I love Keith. Why you love Keith?
Yeah, because I'm the serious one. That's why they like me. That's why she likes me. I think everybody else likes you.
Yeah, she probably 1 out of 100. Everybody likes me. All right. What are we talking about?
We talking
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
The guy who took his own life?
Yeah, Pam Bondi. I can't believe that woman has the nerve to tell Trump what to do. I know Trump wants to release it.
Yeah.
But Pam Bondi went there and said, look, I run this.
I know Trump and Vice President
they probably begging Pam, but do it.
Come on, man, let us release it. You know, Pam Bondi said, nope, I can't. Can't do it.
I wish
bet
that
you
was
Dan Bongino and Cattell
is Kash Patel.
Kash Patel?
Yeah.
I know they like begging Pam Bondi. Hey, come on, man. I promised everybody we was going to release this stuff. No, I can't do it. Can't.
No, I got too much money from Israel.
So don't.
They pay me off. You hear that joke I just?
That was a good joke.
Wait, did y'all catch that one? Hmm?
No, I got too much money from Israel.
So don't.
They pay me off. You hear that joke I just?
That was a good joke. So don't blame Trump. Blame Bondi, Cash.
Israel.
Well, you can't. You can blame.
It's all Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi, but you can't blame Cash. Can't blame Bongino and Trump. They won't release it. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
We trust those guys. We don't trust Pam Bondi.
Yep.
She's a Mossad agent.
Yeah, man, I wish Trump would grow some balls and tell that woman what to do.
I know. He is the president of the United States.
I mean, you drop bombs on Iran, you can't tell that wench what to do? But anyway, man, that was
they promised everybody, man. They promised. There's no client list. There's no video. That video that they showed us, that's crazy. The angle.
Yeah.
And it's not a complete video.
And ain't nobody, man, that dude didn't kill himself to begin with.
Yeah, how can you hang yourself from a 3-foot bunk?
Yeah.
A 3-foot bed.
With a shit ton of
I guess
linen
if you
in
jump
there.
off and you kick both your legs out.
Yeah, you got to jump real hard, though.
Yeah. Try to land butt first instead of feet first.
Yeah.
Good. Oh,
Yeah.
well. Hey,
but you know what? I'm not shocked that it didn't come out.
I'm not shocked either.
I'm really not shocked at all.
I think if that list comes out, it's a global catastrophe.
Yeah.
On the left, right,
Yeah.
countries, Hollywood. I mean, you name it. Everybody's on that list.
Yep.
Trump ain't on it.
Yeah, of course he's not on it. You know who's not on that list?
Who?
Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Those two beings you can trust, even though they're squabbling right now. Hey, I still like Elon though. He helped Trump get elected. Gave that man over $250 million. I think he gave more money than the Jews.
Nah, the Jews beat him.
Nah, Jews didn't give him that much.
No, I think the Jews gave him $250, and then you think about all the other money there.
All the other perks and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I misheard him. I thought he said Jews. There's no way.
Hey, you don't get elected in
I'm done talking about them.
What, the Jays?
No, because the evangelicals, they get pissed when you talk about them.
Damn boomers, huh? Damn boomers. Sensitive as hell.
No, they evangelicals.
You take them
they're
damn
Christian.
You take your damn Jews out of your mouth, boy.
No, it's like, no, because they're Christian. Was it Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
He said it himself.
Yeah, but they said that in the Bible. God said they're God's chosen people, but he said that over 3,400 years ago. You don't think nothing's changed?
Nope.
Man.
Well, when did he say that?
It's in Genesis, I think.
I mean, he said it, but he hadn't been crucified yet, right?
No, I think he.
Hey, shut up. Let me see in the comments. When he made that
of course it's before he got crucified.
Okay, hold on. I'm just double checking. He made those comments before he was crucified. Can y'all please verify this in the comments?
Yeah, because I'm Christian, but I'm not a very good, knowledgeable Christian.
Right.
I'm assuming he said it before. Because he led him out of Egypt.
Well, it just said that God's chosen people who blesses Israel, blesses whatever.
I think that's a damn lie.
Maybe. Okay, shut up. God made a covenant with the Jews, a covenant, and God does not break covenant. You see?
Really?
That's why that's an evangelical right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So they get preferential treatment.
Wait a minute. We have to follow the 10 Commandments, but they don't?
Nope. Obviously, the Jews.
Wait a minute.
That's how it works. No, I just seen the evangelical. That's a covenant.
Yeah.
And God doesn't break covenants. Jews can break the covenants, but like the 10 Commandments, they can do that all they want, and they'll get you bad Jew. You, it's okay. You're my chosen people. It's gonna be all right. All right. You see them black sub-Saharans over there? They don't get that preference. They gonna roast.
No, I don't believe that, man.
I don't believe it neither. But
I don't think any one particular demographic of people is his chosen people. I mean, anybody to say that, I mean, you're pushing supremacy at that point.
Yeah, but see, this is the
you're
thing.
Pushing one group of people over another.
Yeah, of course.
That's the premise. That's total bull crap.
That's BS. But so I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong on this, but when he said that, he made his covenant to the Jewish people because he was Jewish. He hadn't been crucified yet. And then there was no Christianity. Like when he got crucified, right? The two, like there was Judaism, and when he was crucified,
Judaism,
Judaism, whatever it is. I'm not them, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Judaism.
You ain't going to heaven like them too. You going to hell.
Like when he was crucified, it was just Judaism. Once he was crucified, Judaism kept going their way, and Christianity was born.
But Christianity is the accepting the Lord.
Yeah,
Jesus is the Lord and Savior, right?
Yeah, the Christians only recognize that He died on the cross for our sins, and He's our Lord and Savior. That's Christianity is the only people who believe. Jews do not believe that. So my question to you people are Jews still God's chosen people when they don't even recognize Him as their Lord and Savior? That's why I don't think they're God's chosen people.
No,
it doesn't work like that.
I think Christians are God's chosen people.
Well, everybody that recognizes Him as the Lord and Savior is God's chosen people. That's what I think.
Well, that evangelical said God don't break covenants.
Well,
he broke. I mean, he. You see what he did to people praying to gold calves and cows and shit.
Yeah, they was doing that all.
He turned people into a pillar of salt.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna do that to people that doesn't recognize Him as His Lord and Savior.
Not if they're Jewish.
Man, I don't believe that.
Hey, but let's get back to the Epstein thing.
Hey, don't forget, giveaway ends tonight at midnight.
Yeah.
At midnight, and you get 20 times the interest to enter our Ram giveaway, Cummins Turbo Diesel and 10,000 cash. But if you enter right now, you also enter our next giveaway, which is the F-250 King Ranch and camp. See, we was doing live on Facebook. They couldn't hear us. I think Mossad agent was sensitive.
Man, we got 6 million followers over there. Went live, had 300 people in the room.
Yeah,
that was nuts.
Yeah.
You guys notice a common theme between what they say and what I've been saying? I'm just saying.
Anyway, I'm from the UK. We demand the full list. That list was never coming out. Like when they sent those influencers to the White House and gave them those binders with
said this was phase 1.
This is phase 1. I was like, this is a circus. This is just a show. So when he came out and said that, I was not shocked at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I was waiting for Elon Musk to tweet something. You see, nobody that list ain't coming out right. Because they've been going back and forth.
Do you think Trump's on that list?
I don't think he's the type to do that now.
Yeah, I was listening to Tucker Carlson. He said, I'm a pretty good judge of character. He doesn't come off like a creep or pervert.
Yeah, he looks like he's more the Marilyn Monroe type. Trophy wife.
Yeah. You think he banged Horseface?
I ain't going to even go there because I'm going to offend Trump supporters. You can't criticize them. You know that's not Trump's fault. That list didn't come out, right? It's Pam Bondi's fault. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but I was watching Tucker Carlson, and he came out with this bombshell. He said the reason why that list will never come out because it involves United States government, CIA,
operatives?
Yeah, and Mossad, Israeli CIA, whatever you call them. He said because if you come out with the list, it will reveal all this other information about how we're actually the United States of Israel. We're very close like this. And we work together.
We'll think about it.
Our intelligence
it makes
agencies
sense
work
for
together.
you to be an elected official in the United States of America. You have to be backed by AIPAC. It's impossible to get elected as a congressperson in this country without that backing.
Yeah,
financially and all the opportunity like in media and getting your name out there. They run the show.
Yeah, but what's his face? Epstein. I think it was his father. Was ex Mossad.
Yeah,
Father-in-law.
but he wasn't.
He
was just a pedo.
He was just a sick F.
Yeah. Well, according to Pam Bondi, in Trump administration. I mean, Cash Patel and Don Bongino said that. So there's no list, and he didn't kill himself. I mean, we could trust.
And he killed himself.
Yeah, and he killed himself. So we can trust Don Bongino, right?
Damn.
He wouldn't lie to us. Trump wouldn't lie to us, but that damn Pam Bondi would.
Look.
Pam Bondi won't let the truth come out.
Look, Deuteronomy. I've heard of that before. It's a verse in the Bible. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I know Christians are like, man, y'all ain't no Christians. You can't even pronounce these crazy words in the Bible.
Stupid
Deuteronomy
words.
7:6. Out of all the people, God chose Israelites.
Wait a minute. So everybody else is just going to hell? Is that God was a Jew, right?
Yeah.
He was a Jew. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So if you're not a Jew, you go to hell.
No matter what you do.
No matter what I do. And no matter what a Jew does, they go to heaven.
Yeah.
You don't actually believe that? You know the Bible, the scripture was written 3,400 years ago? I mean, things have changed.
I think that verse is taken out of context.
Yeah, context is everything. That Bible, those things happened over 3,400 years ago. I think a lot has changed since then. Like, I used to be a Democrat. Now I'm a Republican. You going to hold me to what I said 10, 15 years ago? Y'all holding somebody to what he said 3,400 years ago. That is insane.
And also, the Bible says if the woman's on the rag, she got to sleep outside.
Yeah. And how
many of y'all sleeping outside, ladies?
Yeah, it's context matters. There was a different time back then.
Yeah, I think so.
You remember what it said about circumcision?
What?
If you don't get circumcised, you're going straight to hell.
Well, I'm gonna burn in hell then.
Yeah, because I ain't cutting my skin off.
I like that extra skin action.
Yeah, it's protection.
I like some hood action. I got me a hood going.
Yeah, that's like going outside in the winter with no coat on.
Scarf action.
Yeah, I'm not walking around with no coat over my mushroom tip.
Hey man, we got some super chats.
Yeah.
$9.99 from
I'll
Gals
check
and
that shit out
Guns.
later for
Remember
sure.
that.
Night at midnight, getting that that's over $250,000 in white privilege. Told me to tell y'all, because I got a slow sub-Saharan brain. I forget. You buy one method interest. I don't think he killed it.
It says, Keith, I know you read this. Turn up the volume. They're sending the volumes low.
How is that possible?
They're even trolling these guys.
Yeah,
Funny
you know,
bone.
it's probably a boomer. It's probably old as shit. Can't hear anyway.
Can we shut up?
Look, good. The volume's perfect. That's how we film our videos. We talking right into the microphone. I guess you have to talk right in the microphone.
Yeah.
Is that better when I talk into the microphone? Maybe it's a different ratio when we go on when we do lives. You got to speak directly in the microphone. Y'all can hear it's fine, right? When I speak directly in the microphone, this is not too loud. You know,
I got it way up on my software. I have to look into that.
No, these people got hearing problems. Look, conservative twins, no sense in being here if I can't hear.
Yeah,
you need to go get your ears checked. Kevin, it's no way in hell that the volume is low. How is that? How is that? Here, hold up. Let me get my phone.
So next time when you guys are streaming,
I'm gonna tell
people
you
say
right
they
now,
can't hear you.
if the volume sucks.
Just tell them kick rocks.
Go into it right now.
Yeah, go to it.
Go into it.
Go into it.
Here it is, right here. It's the old one. The hell? Close this.
This is the whole reason I keep my studio open when I stream. So if somebody says, "Oh, I can't hear you," I can just go over, unmute it, and be like, "Oh, yep, you're full of shit." But you know what?
Hey, how long did it take for you to go to it?
Go into it, man.
Hurry up. What are you doing?
That's conservative twin. See, conservative twins.
It's already auto-populated. Stop, Kim.
Shut up. There it is.
Hey, how long did it take for you to go to it?
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah. I don't get it.
What are you doing? It's fine. I don't know why everybody keeps saying the volume's low. Look, the dude said you got a 60-year-old audience. He said you got a 70-year-old. Hold up, that's easy. 100,000 times 20.
Well, ask me. I'm the math whiz.
100,000 times 20. That's what? That's 2 million. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, you wasn't.
Just want to hear you. You was gonna say 200,000 something, you big dummy. No, I was gonna. I just wait for you to confirm. I think it's 2 million.
Do just one.
Well, I don't know why that's there.
Augustus.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages that are allowed to watch this because YouTube censors me, but a good way, because I tell them 18 and above, so I can say quite a bit more. But this is not going away. It's not going away. And the more and more you look into it, ever since JFK, well, ever since the beginning of modern religion, it's always been the Jews. 109 different countries. Remember that. 109 different countries. Ever talk to a Jew and you want to talk shit, just say remember. 109 countries. Or 6 million sounds kind of made up. But I'm not telling you how to think, because then that would make you kind of sound anti-Semitic when in reality it's real world. A lot of more people think about it. It's just that the left has made it uncool. But anyway, I'm just telling you to think. And yeah, it's Friday. Hope you guys have a good weekend. And Yeah, I think that's all I got.